I just returned from a unique corner of the world I guarantee you've never heard about. While many people visit Colombia's famous cities of Cartagena and Medellin, there's an entirely different side to this country that not many people know about. Welcome to Colombia's Pacific Coast, a region so remote that even in the 21st century they don't have roads here. A region that has been engulfed by narco violence since the mid-1980s, and most notably the capital of African Colombian culture. I arrived here on a small propeller plane from the city of Cali. The flight cost around $50 and took just under an hour. Immediately after arriving in the airport, you're greeted by a large military checkpoint manned by soldiers carrying automatic weapons. I paid around $1.50 for a tuk-tuk, or mototaxi as they're called here, to take me to my accommodation. I stayed in a beautiful guest house called La Casa del Rio for around $20 a night. I would highly recommend staying here if you come to Guapi. Walking around town is such a contrast to other parts of Colombia. It really feels like a different country here. People here mostly eat directly from the river, so you'll see a lot of fish, shrimp, and other seafood for sale. One thing to note is that people here do not like the camera. This is in part due to the security situation in this part of the country, as the government has limited control and many people face risks of extortion and retribution from armed groups participating in the gold and drug trade. Just 3 weeks before I arrived, armed groups blew up the police station with a car bomb. As the security situation is complicated, you'll notice a large military presence around town. On almost every street corner you'll see soldiers carefully watching. The most interesting part of this region, however, are the indigenous tribes that live up and down the river. Through a local friend I met on the flight, I was put in touch with a man named Jacinto, the chief of a local Tsia village living downstream from Guapi. After chatting over coffee for half an hour, he formally invited me to visit his village and spend the night with his community. Obviously, I accepted his invitation. Check back tomorrow to see what life is like living in an indigenous community in Colombia's remote Pacific coast.